If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life.
I'm Jon Marietta, the Hillbilly, and I'm proud to stand with the outlaw, Donald Trump, to bring real change to America. I know what it means to fight for our values, our freedom, our family, our future. Washington and Harrisburg insiders just don't get it, but we do. It's time to put the power back in the hands of everyday Americans, we the people. I'm the only elected official that openly and aggressively is endorsing Donald Trump for president. This November, vote for Donald Trump, the outlaw. And in 2025, vote for Jon Marietta, the Hillbilly. Together, we're taking a stand for America, fighting to keep this country, state, and county strong, free, and proud. Let's make America great again. Paid for by friends of Jon Marietta, the Hillbilly.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by. Watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns. Don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly. Today's show is being brought to you by Monarch Windows and Doors, Miles' Garage and Tire Center, Mung's Auto Body, Patriots.online.com, Fayette County Recovery Storage, and U-Haul. Tactical Civics, Gunslingers, 724-707-4442. The Ink Spot in Connellsville. If you need ink on paper, they're the people to call. Solid Foundation Ministries, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, which you can catch on YouTube, and I can't tell you how many platforms now, and Jon Marietta for We the People. We're going to do a big podcast tomorrow. We're going to be sharing, looks like about 1.5 million people. We're going to be going through Steve Stearns' show, which is going to be a big deal. I want to let everybody know that.
Greg going to be on that too?
Greg's going to be on it. I'm waiting on Greg to call in right now. Hopefully he remembers today. But anyways, I want to start out today with this. And it is a good day, and it is a beautiful day in Fayette County. And some people may look at your life and say you're finished, but God is getting ready to start you on a path to greatness. Some people may look at you and say you're weak, but the strength of the Lord is manifested in your weakness. There are people that will rise against you and try to drive you to confusion, but the Lord is your shield in the battle. That's Psalms 18:6 says, "The Lord is on my side; I will not fear. What can man do to me?" Don't panic if these people of the world try and come against you. Rejoice, because if God is for you, no one can stand against you. Have a great day and always be godly. Have a great day and always be a godly example for others. God bless each and every one of you. And I tell you what, this man is one of my favorite people to read. I read him every day. His name is Chaplain David Baker. He drives truck. He drives a cattle truck, and he posts stuff every day. And it's really neat to listen to him.
It's nice. Good way to start your day.
I got a question for you, Melanie, and then I'll let you answer this. I got Greg on the line, but I want you to answer this question. What do you think MAGA means to most people?
a change. We the people, we want to make America great again. We want to go back to the values and the morals, the Constitution and the rights that we were given by God, things that we have forgotten in the past probably 10, 20 years.
Well, I believe, and this is, we're going to develop something out of this, but this is what I believe. A lot of people pretend to misunderstand MAGA. But what's confusing about making America great again? It's a fundamental goal that every patriot, regardless of party affiliation, shares. Remember what I just said. It's a fundamental goal that every patriot, regardless of party affiliation, shares. It transcends party labels and gets to the crux of America. The opportunity of our society to strive for right over settling for what is wrong. That's what MAGA means. We the people can only make a true, informed, and honest choice if there is integrity in our elections. Once again, if there is integrity in our elections, if the process is transparent to ensure fairness and honesty in the choices we make, Americans will make them themselves.
That's right.
If I have embarked with you and several other people on this crusade for election integrity, not to sway our choices, one way or the other, but to ensure the results are legal, authentic, and accurate. It is a fundamental for we the people to make America great again.
And for our voices to be heard.
That's right.
And the way we do that is at the ballot box, freely, fairly, securely, and accurately. And that's just what we're trying to do. So it's an effort. Call us Americans. Not really with the Republican Party, not really with the Democrat Party, as we can see many Democrats have come over too. They want the same things. We all want the same goals. So we have to put the parties aside and start electing candidates.
Well, do you think about it, and Greg's on the line. I don't want to hold him up too much, but you really think about it. You have Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, she was a Democrat, and she pretty much told everybody the Democratic Party left me, so she turned to be independent. Well, guess what? Now she's a Republican, and she's on Trump's transition team. We don't know exactly where she's going to end up at, but I think it's going to be a really important job. Wouldn't you think?
Right. I'm sure, and he's very careful, and I notice he's been picking true, loyal. People are tired of the backroom deals. They're tired of the status quo of the politicians in Washington, D.C., the uniparty. We're just tired of it. So he's selected some really good candidates or members of his cabinet. And you know what? The stock market likes it too today. That they're finding solid people that are putting, our constituents, we the people, back into our voices heard. Yesterday when we were walking across the bridge, somebody was a little upset with a sign that we had that said Trump will fix it. And she came up to old Joe and said, you know what? This infrastructure bill was signed by Joe Biden, and Joe Biden paid for this bridge. And you know what? You almost wanted to tell this person, no, you know what? This bridge was paid with grant money, which is funded by we, the people, the taxpayers. And we want more of a say in what goes on, where that money is being spent. We want to keep more of our money, again, back to the basics, smaller government. And people just don't realize it. They think that Biden gave them that money for that bridge. It's our money.
I gotta tell you this. I listened to the person who was making a speech about how much it cost, and I got to thinking to myself, this bridge cost. They said this bridge cost $12 million. I was thinking if Trump was involved in it, he would have negotiated it down to $6 million. So
and been done in 6 months instead of 12 months or whatever they had. We had to hold our tongue on that one, but it was hard not to do that.
Well, anyways, hey Greg, you with us?
Oh, yes, I am. How you doing?
You with us today, Greg?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep, there he is. Yep, got him.
Okay.
I thought so. How you doing?
We're doing good. I don't know. We might need to clean up your end a little bit. For some reason, I'm getting a little bit of static. But okay, there we go.
Okay.
So,
how you doing?
Yeah, we're doing good.
I've been listening.
Okay, we're good.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, say again?
I said go ahead. We're good now. I guess you've been listening to us there for
Give us some good news.
Oh, good news and bad news. I think good news is, Melanie, as you just said, that and Jon, I think there's been, I'm very encouraged, and you're not the only ones to say it, that the initial picks that President Trump is naming as prospective cabinet members and prospective positions in government.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think going forward, we're headed towards the. I think we lost you. One of the things that I think that we need to think about is the certification of the vote. Okay, we got Greg back on. I don't know what's going on there, but we're having trouble. I don't know whether it's the Delaware County doesn't.
I'm back.
Yeah, that's very good. I was saying I don't know if Delaware County has a problem with their internet like we have with ours in Fayette County or not, but guaranteed if government was involved in it, it's cost 3 times more than what it should have.
Yeah, there's been some issues, but I just, as I was saying, listening to you and Melanie. The feedback I'm getting from grassroots election integrity advocates and people across, the Pennsylvania that I'm talking to are encouraged by President Trump's selections of potential cabinet members and potential key positions within his administration. So from that perspective, I think there's been a pretty big learning process between 2020, 2016, 2020, and now 2024, it shows a real, President Trump's mature, but it shows a real attention to detail and an attention to all considerations. The picks are pretty solid, like you just mentioned. Now, that's the positive news, is that it looks like he's setting up a successful administration. On the negative side, they continue to count votes to destroy the under ticket. So if you look at it on November 5th and 6th, they said with 99.2 or 3% of all ballots counted, that Kamala Harris had 61 million votes and President Trump had 65 million votes, and that in a squeaker, an electoral squeaker, President Trump overcame the mail-in ballots, and that he beat Kamala Harris, 65 million to 61 million, and the biggest turnout in electoral history. Well, it wasn't the biggest turnout in electoral history. Biden got 81 million votes, and President Trump, if you look at the numbers, was attributed to 74 to 79 million votes in 2020. So let's call it 160 million votes in 2020 and 126 million votes in this election. Well, anywhere from, depending on the numbers, where did 35 million votes come from?
Oh, yeah.
Or 20 million. And then a week later, using the same ballots, they said they had 99% of the vote in for Trump. Well, McCormick is on the same ballot, Kerry Lake is on the same ballot in Arizona, and all of a sudden they're saying, a week later they're saying, Kamala Harris has 68 million votes and Trump now has 74 million votes. Mm-hmm. And wait a second, they just pooped 15 million votes in a week, and literally 12% in an election that Trump said he only won by 1 to 3%. They get 12% more ballots a week later.
Wow!
And they're knocking out, they're knocking out McCormick and so forth. And here's the crazy part: the too big to rig was like, we're going to out harvest and we're going to swamp the election with mail-in ballots. Mm-hmm. We're going to out-harvest them. Well, in Pennsylvania, there were 700,000 less mail-in ballots in this election than there were in the last election.
I follow right. I have the numbers here in Fayette County, too. We say the same thing in Fayette County. Less mail-in ballots this year than 2020. There was more in 2020.
And And I would like to say, Greg, for you and Melanie and Jon, who's been fighting this election integrity fight, I honestly don't think that if you guys wouldn't have brought that to everybody's attention, we wouldn't be where we are right now. I feel like at least,
thank you.
And it is attributed to all of it, and nobody understands that really because they haven't watched it from a from a bird's eye perspective. Like, I've been watching all of the steps that you guys have taken, and I think that, if it's not paid attention to locally like you all have done, and all of the hard work that you guys have put in, and all of the people across the country that felt the same, I feel like we wouldn't be here. And it only took the strong people, well, I shouldn't say only, it took the strong people to stand up for those rights, and for all of us to have at least somewhat of election results that were, somewhat accurate, I should say, and not just completely fabricated.
Well, thank you for that. I think, Jon, all of you, Melanie, Jon, Gino Gallo in Fayette County, and Melanie Llewellyn, Susanna Jajit. I mean, I can go on. Ashley, Kerry Hahn, Darlene Smale, Dave Ball, the people in the western part, Washington County, Westmoreland, Lawrence, and Beaver, these counties out in the west, they had to look for mail-in ballots. They couldn't get them here. Now, Delaware County, in 2020, they had 137 mail-in ballots just in my county. Mm-hmm. And 120 of those ballots went to Biden. In this election, they were only able to process 80,000 and only 60,000 for Harris. Yeah. So in Delaware County alone, we took 60,000 away. They took 50,000 away in Chester County, and we took almost 80,000 mail-in ballots that had gone for Biden. Mm-hmm. We took those away in Montgomery County. So if you look at those three big counties, and then we go to the western counties, we took 700,000 mail-in ballots, and we were on the radio. Look, WMBS was a big part of this. Mm-hmm. And, I was on the radio and in interviews. Per week, I was reaching 5 to 30 million people across the country, and specifically in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I was saying, for the love of God, the election's in the bag for Kamala Harris. I gave a dire prediction. I said, if all things are equal, Kamala Harris will be named the president. And that was based, on the metrics and the machines. Let's assume the machines, which had had malicious code in them, which we proved, and let's assume that they were counting unqualified electors. I said, all things being equal to 2020, if only 67% of people show up, and as they did in 2020, Trump can't win. Yeah. And I said on the radio, you guys remember, I said, in order for Trump to win, we need 80% turnout at the polls on Election Day. And we said, please, for the love of God, don't vote by your mail-in ballot. I know that's what the RNC is saying, it's too big to rig, but remember I said, bring a box lunch, bring a jug of water, bring a chair, sit in line, and if we get an 80% turnout, Trump will win. Well, that's what happened.
We did. We had 80%. We had between 75 and 85% turnout here in Fayette County in the precincts that I looked at. And way more people voted in person than the mail-in ballots in Fayette County was a bit disappointing as far as the Republicans were concerned. Democrats, of course, always beat us on that 3-1, but the turnout for them was,
with the mail-in or in person?
The mail-in ballots, Yeah. They had...
and that was expected.
Yeah.
I'm
no
very
significant numbers there.
The bad news is I think and people are getting like an ominous feeling now. And what I said, what we're working on is we're working on the SCOTUS case, which is still, in motion. We're working on the federal cases, which are still in motion that you're all signed up for, Jon in particular, and Gino and Melanie Patterson are on these suits, and Ashley Duff and Kerry, the people I mentioned. Those are all still in the court trajectory, and if those cases are heard and adjudicated, then what will happen is all these counts right now, going against McCormick and going against Kerry Hahn and going against the congressional delegates, and which could potentially go against Trump, would end. And that's one of the reasons I think these cases haven't been heard, because in all cases our rulings have been delayed by Obama-appointed clerks and Obama and Biden appointed and Clinton appointed judges. So we looked at it and we asked what the probability. We asked AI. We used several AI tools, and we said, what's the probability of these cases being quashed and caught by Democrat-appointed judges? And it came back and said 5%. 5% probability, which is, I'm going to say, an extremely low probability. So what we're claiming at this point is they are fighting this. And if you look at the governor, Governor Newsom, Governor Shapiro, and other governors in the country have come out publicly in the last few days and said they're going to fight President Trump's certification. They're going to fight him in the Electoral College, and they're going to do everything they can not to seat him. And what we're saying is, let's get these cases through. Yeah. Let's protect what we have. And I think that it's good news, bad news. The bad news is I think they have every intent, the evil and corrupt people have every intent of trying not to seat Trump. And what we're, the fight's not over. I said, at the beginning, and, we've all been saying this, is Election Day it's necessary to keep going. It was necessary for Trump to win, but it was insufficient. The end goal is January 20th, is getting him seated, getting through the certification process in the states, getting him through the certification process in the Congress on January 6th, and getting him seated, and then we can address two more things. We can make sure he has a successful administration. There's a lot of things that we're doing that are related to that. And then by 2026, to rescind all this insanity. Well, we need to rescind Act 77. We need to stop these vectors of fraud with the mail-in ballots and the illegal election machines. And we need to, that's I think the main goal. So that in 2026, when hopefully, some of the, Jon and Gina and others are running for office again, and that we'll be able to continue down a path of sanity and restore our elections. So we don't have to worry about what we're worried about now. We don't have to be wondering, well, is there more mail-in ballots that are going to be found on trucks?
I hope he puts together an election integrity team. Moving forward.
I hope so, too.
I think he does want to correct elections, because we have nothing if we don't have our safe and secure elections. We have nothing.
Right.
They'll continue to steal. Now, speaking about Pennsylvania and McCormick, what is he? Is he in? Is he not? Tomorrow there's a big day, a big vote coming for the leader. And I'm reaching out. I've been many Patriot groups telling me to reach out to McConnell, and they're doing it. They can't find an email or how to reach out to Mitch McCormick, Dave McCormick, our senator. I mean, is it official or is it not official? I think Schumer invited him tomorrow. First, he was not invited. Now I heard on the radio Schumer invited him. He will be going there tomorrow as a kind of an orientation, freshman orientation. But he will get to vote on who the leader of the majority party will be. And he's not on MAGA side. He's siding with Cornyn. And so we have until today at 6 o'clock to make a call to him and tell him to remember he got elected riding the coattails of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump endorsed him, and the MAGA people and the constituent the people voted for him, and we expect him to honor that, honor what, the voice was heard. And it's not. It sounds like he's not leaning that way. But does he have a vote? Does he have a vote? I keep hearing back and forth things. What do you say about tomorrow?
We don't know, and I think it's very curious that we can't reach. We've been trying. I've been doing the same thing. We've been trying to reach. We don't even know if he's going to be senator. So it's encouraging to hear that he's been invited. But one of the things we're scratching our head with is that being in jeopardy of being seated, we can't understand the silence from his campaign staff. We don't understand it, and we've been reaching out in the same way.
Steve Bannon has called. I guess Steve Bannon is rounding up the troops. He's saying, "All hands, man your battle stations. This is not a drill," and we want Rick Scott to be voted in, and remind them that MAGA is watching. MAGA wants Rick Scott, or perhaps J.D. Vance. I even heard that as a possible option, but not Cornyn or Thune, or he will be doing nothing. The agenda will not move forward.
Well, one of the things we're looking at right now, Greg ran some numbers, and I'm seeing the numbers from Fayette County here. There's it looks like there's about 1,000. Looks like there's about 1,000 votes to be counted yet, and it looks like across the state there's 200,000. Did I have that right, Greg? It's almost 200,000.
200,000.
Yeah.
100,000 provisionals and 100,000 MIBs.
Yeah.
So if
Across the
99% of the
Across the
vote
state.
is in, John, where are they coming from?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and I mean, this is what's being reported.
So what can we do? I think we count something here on Friday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I think they're going to do the provisional ballots in Fayette County. They're going to try to do the provisional ballots in Fayette County if there's not something that gets in place before then. And I think there is some people. I think there's some things going to happen in the court system. It just depends on whether the courts take it up or not.
Or how about the military ballots? When were they counted?
The
Or
military gets, I believe they get 15. I believe it's 15 days after the election. I think I have that right.
They haven't been counted yet.
Yeah,
UOCAVA and military, to my knowledge, have not, for the most part, not been counted. Now, I challenged the provisional ballots here. I did a blanket challenge. And the reason I did a blanket challenge was the county here refused to let us know if the provisional ballots, if the people that had submitted them were qualified electors. And further, that the majority, about 8 out of 10, were from people who submitted a mail-in ballot, and it wasn't counted. It shows in the SURE database that the ballot was received, but then it shows that it wasn't counted. So people are like, well, I submitted a ballot, it shows that I submitted it, but yet in the same database it shows it wasn't counted. So they filed a provisional. And then other people said, I didn't ask for a mail-in ballot, yet one was cast for me. So they submitted a provisional ballot. And the other people, they had asked for mail-in ballots, and they never received them. Yeah. So we have a large number of people that are in the mail-in ballot situation, and then we have other people that showed up. Now, of this approximately, at first they said there was 4,500 provisionals. Now they're up to 6,000. We don't know where the 1,500 came from, but we've already eliminated about 2,000 of the 6,000. And we've eliminated them because just in the SURE database, it says that these voters lived in Philadelphia, or they lived in, they lived outside of the precincts. So those people have already been eliminated to the tune of about 2,000.
That's a lot.
So it's an incredible amount. So what I said was, hey, look, I don't want to disenfranchise anybody. They're saying I'm disenfranchising and it's a conspiracy and that I'm, some crazy election denier. And I said, hey, I only want to know one thing. Are they qualified electors or not?
Right.
And with their response is this: oh, if they're a registered voter, they're qualified. And I said, no, that's not what the law says. The state registers voters, but the county qualifies them. And I said, did you qualify them? No, we didn't do that. Wow. Well, I said, that's a violation of federal law. When you tell me that they're qualified, I'll withdraw my objection. And their response was, well, you have to bring that evidence. I says, how the hell am I going to bring that evidence? The burden of production is on you. I'm not the one. I didn't go. I'm not supposed to go through 4,500 mail-in, provisionals and mail-in ballots and determine if they're qualified. You are.
Yeah, you're not
so
in the
it's
chain
a crazy
of command.
time. Yeah.
Are you?
Huh?
What is that called? The chain of command? You're not in the chain of command for the ballot, so why would they expect you to come up with that evidence? It's the person that's in charge of, protecting or watching over those ballots, right?
Right, absolutely. The burden of production is on them. So we're going to go to this hearing on Thursday. Now, I think they think it's going to be a long hearing, and I think it's going to be a short hearing, because I'm going to say, look, if you want to, overturn all of my objections, great. Not great, but there's nothing I can do about that. But if you count or tabulate a ballot from someone who we later find out was unqualified, that's a federal violation of law and a 5-year prison sentence for each one. If you want to roll the dice and count these votes, I said, look, I'm not in a position to fix that. You can overrule me, but if so I doubt they'll do that. And I said, I'm not going to. My response is going to be, what are you going to do about it? Not what am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting hearing. We're going to live stream it. We'll get that out to Jon. Jon, different people are going to try to stream that hearing.
What time is it tomorrow?
It's at 12 o'clock on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Thursday.
So it'll be in Delaware County. Another thing is, Jon, I'm going to be out there. It looks like right now, tentatively, we're bringing videographers and documentary specialists. We're going to come out to Fayette County tentatively on Wednesday. And Melanie Patterson, I got to talk to her and some other folks out there. But, we're going to come out. We want to interview everyone here, that's on the radio now. We want to interview Gina. We want to interview, a bunch of people, and we're going to put together a series of 1 to 3 minute pieces that explain simply, all the issues right now, so that Jon can post these things on Twitter, and we can get this media message out to people and clearly communicate, because people are a little confused at this point. They're like, what do you mean? Is the election over? Is it not over? Did Trump win? Is he going to be certified? Is McCormick going to be our senator? And we're at a point now where we don't know. And that's what we need to clear up, and we need to be prepared for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Which Wednesday are you coming? Next Wednesday or this one?
It'll be next Wednesday.
Oh, next Wednesday, the following week.
It'll be next Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
And we got people coming in. They're before this is over with, there's going to be a book. So.
Yep.
So but it's amazing that all this is going on tomorrow. Greg and I are going to be involved in Steve Stern's podcast. I don't know exactly how that's all going to unfold. We got people. I actually have somebody working on it right now, trying to get all of the platforms that I deal with up, and but it's going to be a huge deal.
Oh yeah, we have Steve Bannon will be on, Mike Lindell, a lot of election integrity advocates, from around the country. I'm going to be on. Jon will be on. Everyone's going to be, it's going to be watched by about 2 million people, and then it'll be rebroadcast, and it'll reach about 10 million people. I think that'll go a long way to, clearing things up. And what we most care about is preparing people for this certification battle that we think is coming, that is, for the most part, being ignored. So that's our concern right now, is the certification and making sure that the will of the people, and you discussed MAGA earlier, that, the will of the people, the true will of the people, is listened to, and not I'm going to say at this point, the fringe left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a sobering thing, because I believe that if we hadn't got on with this and kept this fight up, I really believe that things would be a little different right now as we're looking at them. We'd be probably fighting for trying to find where all the votes came from.
Yeah.
Greg, I appreciate. Is there anything else you want to close with? I know you got to get to Emerald Robinson's show. So.
Yeah. I appreciate the time. Keep staying the fight. Simplify. And I think I know Melanie Llewellyn's there as well, and I think the power of God and the prayers of people had a lot to do. God stepped in And we saw a miracle on Tuesday. The miracle was that 80% or more of people, the American people, showed up. And that was really the miracle that we needed.
Yeah.
Well, I equate this
In
with
person.
Washington crossing the Delaware on Christmas Eve. So I think that's the Christmas Day. I mean, I really do. I think that's where we're at with all this.
I just wanted to reiterate my gratitude towards all the people that stood strong. I've just been hanging in the balance, waiting and watching for all this happening. And I always tell Jon, I'm very fortunate that he picked me to be his sidekick along this ride, because I've learned a lot through listening to all of these conversations and being a part of listening to the court cases that you guys have all been a part of. And it's really just an honor to see such strong people stand strong for our rights and freedoms.
Yep. And one of the things that Greg pointed out, we haven't lost yet. We haven't lost the case yet because they haven't let us. They haven't let us in. It's always been about procedure, and but we can't figure out the procedure because they don't know the procedure exactly either. So so that's part of that's part of the problem, isn't it, Greg?
Yes, we haven't. We've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you've lost all your cases," and we said, "Well, none of them have been heard." Procedurally quashing a case and not hearing it on the merits or deleting it from a docket, or that's not winning. That is corruption. And I think that I've reminded everybody. I said, "Does anybody here have we lost a single case based on the merits?" No. In fact, the only case that was decided on the merits was the case that Lee and I won as co-defendants with President Trump, after presenting all of our evidence of massive election fraud and, Judge Michael Erdos in Philadelphia accepting that and entering it as evidence into the court, the opposing side that was suing us all for defamation withdrew, and they just continued. And in fact, Judge Erdos found in our favor and sanctioned the attorney for the other side and said that he conducted misconduct. It was a frivolous case. It was retaliatory, and that he lied to the court. So the judge beat the heck out of him. They withdrew and discontinued the case because we did present the evidence. That's the only case that's been decided on the merits. No other case has been decided on the merits. So what we hope is going forward that President Trump and will get involved. And Melanie just mentioned election integrity. Going forward, with the election integrity efforts, that we're going to be able to resolve not only some of the issues for 2024 and 2022 and 2020, we'll be able to revisit them, but most importantly, we're going to secure our elections in 2026. So I thank you all for hearing me out and all of your efforts as patriots. And I'm going to take my leave now, and God bless America.
Hey, thank you, Greg. Thank you a lot, Greg. Take care. We'll be talking to you again tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So we got about 4 or 5 minutes left, and one of the things that I want to make sure I tell everybody that Act 77 is what caused all this mail-in problem. And we can make sure that people understand that. Pat Stefano was the one that helped vote this into, help get this started. Ryan Warner voted for it. Or hiding Ryan Warner, but he turned up yesterday at the ribbon cutting. He came out to get it with all. Was
there coffee or something?
No, no. It just seems like
hot dogs.
No hot dogs.
Dang it!
But we're gonna have our own bridge. We're gonna have our own bridge ribbon cutting coming up in the near future, and but we got the bridge that's going to be opening up at so not quite as big as the one in Connellsville, but the whole time I'm standing there and I'm thinking like all these people, they're thinking like they're wanting to take credit for something that they had nothing to do with,
right?
But they're going to be involved in holding the ribbon and cutting it.
That's the difference between a patriot and a politician.
This is true. This is true. And Melanie was with me, and we took some pictures with regular people. There was a gentleman there that he always comes when he sees me, and
Yeah.
he's
A
blind.
real patriot,
He's
yeah.
blind, and he heard me talking to somebody, and he come running over. He come over with his wife. His wife helped him get over to the curb, and he says, I know that voice. He says that ain't nobody but the hillbilly. And, and it was in. So we got our picture taken with him, and he was a good guy. He's
Yeah,
a
it
good
was
guy.
nice.
What was his name?
You know what? I always forget his name. I do, but
He's listening. Say hello.
I guarantee you he's listening. So if he can
Yeah.
get his wife to put in the comment section, which I appreciate all the people making all these comments. It's a good thing. I mean, it shows how many people were listening. Actually, we were the #1 show again on WMBS last week, other than the sports.
yeah.
Congratulations,
Football
Jon.
games, yay.
But
Because we've got lots of MAGA people out there.
yeah.
Here's a little comment here. He says, we need, from Elliot, a friend of ours, we need to recognize that Trump is a tourniquet. And so we've stopped the bleeding for now. But in order to actually heal the nation, we have a lot more work to do. And we're just joining together.
I do like Elliot's suggestion about Rand Paul. I think Rand Paul would make.
Is it Rand Paul or Ron Paul?
Ron Paul, I believe.
Ron, right? Is
yeah.
he working for what department?
Yeah, Elliot seems to think he'd make a great secretary of
Secretary of State.
State. And I don't know. I think sometimes you have to be. Rand Paul might be just a little bit too libertarian for that, but I tell you what, I love Ron Paul. I wish he would. We're going to try to get him to come to Fayette County before maybe sometime next year, and maybe come visit the Recorder of Deeds office. Which, by the way, I've worked with some of the other recorders in Fayette County, in the state of Pennsylvania, and the Recorder of Deeds conference. This is going to be a first for Fayette County. The Recorder of Deeds conference for the state of Pennsylvania will be in Fayette County, Pennsylvania next year.
Nice.
We worked on this, and it's going to be a big it's going to be a big deal. The summit the Summit Inn is
Summit Inn.
is going to host is going to be the host hotel or
beautiful up there
for us, and we're going to have speakers and things, and like I said, it'll be a good time.
Do you have to be a recorder to attend?
Well, I don't know what the qualifications.
Do you have to work for the recorder's office, or do you have to know a recorder of deed? Like, how does this work?
I don't know how this is all going to work, but we're going to bring a lot of money into Fayette County.
Special guests?
Yeah, maybe a special guest. How's that?
MAGA cheerleaders.
But
Do you need, like,
I won't make you sit behind the glass like they do the special representatives.
I'll sit
yeah.
behind the glass if I have to. I love to watch. I love to listen. And my new thing is I love to learn.
But it's going to bring a pile of money to Fayette County for a 3-day conference, and it's something that hasn't happened.
They have to pay for all the food and accommodations.
Yeah, food accommodations, and we're gonna try to visit Fort Necessity, and absolutely we'll be at a high pile of Falling Waters, and I always tell. It's going to be bigly. How's that? We're going to start.
It's going to be a bigly conference here in Fayette County.
Right here in Fayette County.
Bigly, a Recorder of Deeds conference coming to Fayette County soon.
Yeah. It'll be.
Stay tuned.
It'll be. It's scheduled for June. It'll be a big event.
If you need an extra waitress or something, just know I have those skills as well. It's bartending skills. I'm just going to put it out there.
But the other thing was, Melanie and I, we were talking about going down to the bridge opening, and I want to tell you something. If you look up the Yawk towards Dunbar, and it was just so beautiful yesterday. I put the picture up. It was just so beautiful, and then you look down, and of course. Comment was made about the trains coming through, but I tell you what, it would have been the coolest thing if you could have had like a steam engine came through right at the time when they were underneath that bridge. It would have made everything bigly. So
Jon, if you were in charge, I'm sure that would have happened.
We're working on a steam train to come here to Fayette County. I'm making some phone calls. The problem is keeping water to it, because you just can't run a garden hose to the tender, and keeping the coal. You have to have places to have to fill the tender up full of coal.
Yeah.
There, you never know. There might be a possibility, but I am working on that.
I believe in you, John. It's
Hey,
gonna happen.
but anyways, I want to.
Polar Express, here we come.
Yeah. I gotta close this show up. Well, on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes, but never regret. People change, things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. I am Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.